One thing that I think it's extremely important that we discuss are the skills that are actually required of a hacker or penetration tester. And really, let me just start out by saying this. You have to know everything about everything. And I know that sounds really unrealistic, but it's absolutely true. When you're attacking a system or a remote network, there's absolutely no way for you to predict the version numbers and the software vendors that these individual companies are going to be going through. So you really have to be prepared for everything. You've got to be prepared for intrusion detection. You've got to be prepared for encryption and firewalls and defensive mechanisms, as well as just plain dumb luck or bad luck. So definitely be aware that you're expected to have the resources available or already know everything about everything. So I think it's needless to say that extensive knowledge is going to be required about any type of system or target network that we're attacking. Basically, you should already have your beginnings in security in one way or another. The example that we use here is perimeter security. Having that knowledge and understanding of perimeter security is definitely useful when you're coming in from the other side. So you definitely need to have some experience, whether it be in intrusion detection, perimeters, encryption, whatever it is. Be prepared to expand on that knowledge during your travels as an ethical hacker. In addition to security experience, you should have a pretty good bit as a network or systems administrator as far as experience is concerned, because it's absolutely critical that you have a good working knowledge of the actual systems themselves. You can't hack a PBX box if you don't know how to operate one, and you can't hack a Unix system if you don't know what commands are available on that system. And that's, again, one of those reasons we say you have to know it all, or you at least have to know where to go to find that information. You should be familiar with several different types of operating systems, all the way up from embedded Linux operating systems such as Linksys routers, down to Cisco iOS, BSD, Linux, Unix, Windows, Macintosh. You need to know all of these things because there's a pretty good chance you're going to run into each and every one of these at one point or another. So you at least, at a minimum, need to have a working knowledge of how to move around and do basic administrative tasks in nearly every operating system available. It's also absolutely critical that you have a great understanding of the TCP/IP protocol and associated ports and protocols therein. You need to at least understand what port 80 being open really means to us. Usually it's a web server, and being able to determine that by simply looking at a list of numbers is extremely important. So you have to be able to drop down to the binary and the hexadecimal level and really get a good grasp and understanding of ports, protocols, and network-based protocol suites. You also need to have a great understanding of common security vulnerabilities. Understand what a buffer overflow is. Understand what Unicode attacks are. These are the different types of skills that we need to know, and we can build on that knowledge and get more specific as we go. It's also important not only to understand the vulnerability itself, but what moves might be taken to mitigate that vulnerability or protect yourself against it. And finally, a good understanding of the tools that you're going to be using to perform hacking and penetration testing, as well as the techniques that those tools lend themselves to. You can be the best hacker in the world, and without tools, you're only going to get so far. And the same goes both ways. You can have all the best hacking tools in the world, but you got to know how to use them, and you got to understand what the techniques mean.